warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Cici Isnawati with name 200634 from class 2B majoring in PGSD. In this video, I will give an example of a narrative text entitled The King and Four Yellow Tickets. One day, in a kingdom that is famous for its abundant wealth and has a pineapple jam factory called the Kingdom of Subang. The Subang Kingdom was led by a king named Asep Surasep Kusuma. He was a king who was wise, handsome, generous, and kind to his people, and a king who was lonely because he had no family. His wife died of illness, and his son was sad during the war in the palace. One time, the king was looking in the mirror in his room. He realized that he was getting older. It was seen from his wrinkled skin, and his hair had started to turn white. The king was contemplating who could continue his kingdom, plus the pineapple jam factory he had managed. There was nothing he could try. Finally, the king decided to choose a child who deserved to be his successor by putting a yellow ticket into pineapple jam. Whoever gets the yellow ticket has the opportunity to visit the palace and see the factory. This news was then announced by the court to all the people, from the poor to the nobility. They are all very enthusiastic about getting the ticket. Pineapple jam is bought and sold in small to large shops at the different prices. The poor can buy it for 5,000 rupiah and the aristocrat can buy it for 10,000 rupiah. All the people from the Subang kingdom and from other kingdoms flocked to buy the jam so they could get the yellow ticket that was behind the pineapple jam. The first person to get the yellow ticket was Michel. He was a child of the Subang royal guard who picked when the king was inserting a yellow ticket into pineapple jam, then the god took it. The second child is named Johan. He is the son of a bakery who often pineapple jam every day and gets one yellow ticket. The third person was named Angelita Sinampu. She is a noble daughter of the Purwakarta kingdom. The ticket was obstacle when Angel nagged his father to get the ticket. Through his father's power, Angel ordered all the girls to open pineapple jam because his father brought a lot of pineapple jam, hundreds to millions of pineapple jam. The last one to get a yellow ticket was Tatang Supriyatna. He is a child from a poor family. Tatang really likes pineapple jam, but he can only afford one pineapple jam in 1 year. One even time, Tatang was having a birthday and his father brought one pineapple jam as a birthday present. After opening it, it turned out that Tatang did not get anything. Then, Tatang worked at the market and earned 5,000 rupiah and bought pineapple jam. When it opened, Tatang was very surprised and happy to get the yellow ticket. But Tatang thought of selling the yellow ticket, so he had a lot of money because he knew that yellow tickets were very rare and of course if they were sold, he would get a lot of money, many times the usual price. Tatang asked his father for permission to sell this yellow ticket, but his father refused and sighed. Tatang, opportunities like this don't come twice. It is better if you go to the palace now, because not everyone can have luck like you. Tatang obeyed his father's word and then went to the palace. Some of the children arrived at the Subang palace. They are from different caste families. Upon entering the palace, they were welcomed by the king. They were very amazed to see the palace, which was so magnificent and luxurious. There were so many unique ornaments in the palace. The king took the children around the palace. When he saw the river, the king warned all the children not to go down, but Michel ignored the king's word. He instead jumped and catch the fish in the river until Miss Sail fell and drowned because the river flow became very fast. The king then ordered his crew to help Michelle and continue his journey without Michelle because the king did not like children who could not be managed. Then the king took the children to the pineapple garden to see and taste the pineapple that were there. When Angelita tried it, she immediately fell in love with the pineapple she tried because it was so sweet that she said to the king, "King, I will buy all the pineapple here," said Angelita. "These pineapple are not for sale," replied the king. Angelita was annoyed because this was the first time her wish was not granted. She also tried to get all the pineapple by taking them with her own hand so that her hands started bleeding from the pineapple very soon. The king then ordered the crowd to take Angelita to his father because the king did not like a greenleaf child and continued his journey without Angelita. Then the king took the two remaining children to see the pineapple jam factory. There were amazed to see such a sophisticated jam machine. The king warned the children not to hold the machine, but Johann break it. He held the machine and machine twitchy all the buttons all day until the machine error and shocked Johann's body. Then the king ordered his crew to bring Johann to treat him and continue the journey. The king looked back, only one child left with him. "Congratulations on winning this competition," sighed the king. "What competition is the king?" asked Tata. "Come on, now we go to your house in the village." Tatang obeyed the king's word. Arriving at Tatang's house, the king was very surprised to see that Tatang's house was so small that there was no food available in it. Tatang's parents approached the king, and king informed him that Tatang had won the competition he had made. In return, Tatang became king because Tatang had a trustworthy, responsible, and king attitude. Immediately, Tatang and his family were very happy to hear this, but when the king gave Tatang a condition to stay in the palace, but did not bring his family because the king thought that family could make him sad. Tatang, who immediately accepted the king's gift, now rejected it immediately. "I'd rather be powerless than have to leave my family," sighed Tatang. The king immediately left Tatang and returned to the palace. When he arrived at the palace, the king was still thinking about Tatang because he knew that Tatang was very good and very suitable to be used as a king. The next day, the king met with Tatang and told him the reason why the king did not want to invite his family to stay at the palace. The king did not want to be like himself, whose son was shut at the palace. Tatang was sorry for all the things that had happened, and Tatang felt guilty toward the king, so he offered to think of him as his son. The king was very happy to hear this. When he was at Tatang's house, the king was considered like his family by eating and chatting with the Tatang family. The king was very happy because he had not felt this situation for a long time. Now the king is happy to have a new family, and Tatang is willing to become a king so that later the Subang kingdom has a very good, wise, and prosperous king to for its people.